So yeah, that's kind of this side of the room. Really quick, if you want to look over here, that's my hodgepodge collection of different controllers and crap like that. Dreamcast, TurboGrafx, N64, PlayStation 1, 2, 3, Jaguar. It's a nice way to have controllers easy to grab, but not in the way. So you can wrap things up nicely and be good to go. Now over here, and you'll notice I got various artwork littered across the walls in here. I mean, action figures, stuff like that, right? One of my favorite pieces of art in this room is Poison here. And I had a artist by the name of Hanzo Steinbeck do this, and he's had tons of releases, stuff in manga, a lot of the Udon collections for Street Fighter, as well as other things. Really nice guy, really great guy. And I asked him if he could draw Poison. Now, Poison is a very controversial character, and the reason she's controversial is because supposedly she is not a she. This is supposed to be a guy. And the big reasoning for that is because Capcom released Final Fight, and when it was being ported over to the Super Nintendo over here in America, people took offense to you being able to beat up women. So they said, well, it's not a woman, it's a transvestite. Thinking that would be okay. Well, that still didn't work. What they ended up doing was they reskinned the characters completely, and Poison's not even in the Super NES version of the game. She's in the Super Famicom version, which is kind of interesting. But she is the topic of controversy because there's several developers that say, yeah, she's female. There's other Capcom developers that say, no, she's a post-op transsexual. All sorts of stuff. She's just got a lot of controversy to her. I'm sorry, she's hot. And it's a badass piece of artwork. With the yellow, it's almost got a Persona look to it. He threw in Poison kind of to reference the band and stuff like that. It's really cool. One of my favorite pieces, one of my favorite characters in video games, just because she is so controversial.
You mean he?
Who knows? This is another great piece of art here, though. This is from Castlevania Chronicles, and I love the colors of this. And down here is kind of the gaming bookshelf. All sorts of different stuff here. Yoshitaka Amano's The Sky, The Art of Final Fantasy. They only made 500 of these, or 1,000 of these. I got this from Amazon, did a review of it, and now this thing is upwards from like $600 to $700 because you can't find it anywhere. They re-released it in a slipcover format, but it doesn't have half the stuff in the cool-ass box with it, so kind of neat there, kind of nice collectible thing to have. If you haven't seen my review, check it out because it's got some fantastic representations and concept art of like Final Fantasy VII that when you look at it, you go, there's no way that's what Final Fantasy VII came from. I mean, this stuff looks like picture Final Fantasy VII with Final Fantasy VI artwork. It's really cool. Wow. It's really cool. My Street Fighter 25th anniversary, various statues and stuff. I don't pick up too many statues anymore because the boxes are huge and I don't have the room for it anymore, so that's a little unfortunate there. We come down here, and like I said, this is kind of the gaming bookshelf. I have all sorts of different kind of stuff here. All of my Udon books here. I mean, some of my favorites, including, where is it? Street Fighter Eternal Challenge, which has raised in price dramatically. This was actually made when they did the 15th anniversary of Street Fighter, and this thing just has some tremendous artwork in it. Lots of concept art from all the different games. It's really a great book, and I really enjoy the artwork in these Udon art books, obviously, because I wouldn't have as many as I do. But there's all sorts of stuff here. Here's another favorite of mine, even though it's not directly video game related.
Ugh.
This is Gungrave Archives.
I just got a hard on.
Matt loves Gungrave. And this actually talks about the video games, the PlayStation 2 video games that came out for it. I think there's some decent artwork in the back, if I remember correctly. Same thing as the cover, but lots of fun. Lots of great art here. Another one of my favorites that isn't exactly gaming related, and I probably won't be able to take it out for you to see anyway, so forget it, is my Serial Experience Lane book. Another great anime. There's the Halo Encyclopedia, there's Mega Man Tribute, There's all sorts of stuff in here. This is an interesting one. I got this imported from Japan. This is Parasite Eve. Great RPG. This is kind of different concept art as well as cutscene art and character stuff and everything. Pretty cool. Sexy. Down here, really just more stuff. Street Fighter comics, Street Fighter manga, some various books on the video game industry. We've got Power Up by Chris Kohler. We got the history of Nintendo, which is pretty cool. This actually talks about Nintendo before they actually got to the Nintendo Entertainment System. And talk about apparently I had a bookmark in there. All sorts of great stuff that Nintendo put out before they put out Nintendo games.
Oh. Stroller.
It's a pretty cool book. The second volume of that is out. I think you get it Pixel Publishing. This is kind of a neat one too. The Japanese Guide to Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Oh, cool.
Really nice full color book with maps. And down here, just more stuff. Last issue of Nintendo Power. Kind of sad. Great comic at the end. And obviously more stuff about video games. So a lot of different types of stuff in here, but it all situates around video games. Duh. Okay, so that's the bookshelf. Let's take a look into the Closet of Doom. This is not very pretty, folks. I try to keep it as clean as possible, but that's why it's got doors. In here is system boxes. The most interesting thing, and let me grab a light here to try to help you guys see. Every system you see in here actually has the system in it. So these are multiple versions of systems I have that are actually complete. And there's other stuff in here too, like there's special edition boxes as well as action figure boxes, and some of those are empty. But like the Sega CD you see there, that's a complete Sega CD unit with all the hookups. The Xboxes you see, those are complete. The Dreamcast is complete. The Sega Genesis is complete. Some people say, you know, isn't it a little excessive to have box systems? And I mean, that's kind of like my video, how much is too much. It depends on the person. For me, having the box systems is not a common occurrence. You don't see it very much. And it's kind of neat to be able to pull out something and be like, this is what the Nintendo came in as. This is what the pack-in was. This is where the controllers went. This is how it was. I mean, here's the NES. Here's the Super Nintendo and N64 box. Super Famicom. Virtual Boy. I even got a box, TURBOGRAFX-CD. The reason I'm not pulling this stuff out is because I'm afraid I'm going to pull one out and it's going to fall all over me. There's Street Fighter sticks. There's all sorts of great stuff in here. It's also a big gun, which isn't a real gun, I should say.
Only a toy.
Go to the other side, and it's really just more of, you know, I've got my comic books in here, got miscellaneous handheld games in here, some Atari boxes, and some other stuff. There's a boxed PlayStation, and some other things. All sorts of stuff in here that I'd love to pull out, but that would be its own like 15-part video series, so